Okay, all right. Let me get the. Hey, y'all. So what's up, man? It's your main man, Avi the Hero. We live here on the Ube of Two, and I got some special guests here with me today. You know what I'm saying? Some of the original OGs of this whole JBA big baller thing. You know what I'm saying? Some folks who've been putting their time and their hard work in, giving y'all a product for many moons now, and It was this one to Brandon Williams talking with Fresh. He had tweeted this yesterday about how, you know what I'm saying, the anniversary of the first year of the JBA was coming about. And it had moved me. I had got in my feelings for like 2 seconds, and I was like, yo, I need to get these dudes on here so we could talk about you know what I'm saying, that first year and just reminisce of some of the good times. So, you know what I'm saying, I got your boy talking with Fresh in here with me today. You know what I'm saying, the original co-commentator. You know what I'm saying, me and him held it down from day one. But while we was on the live screen holding it down, inside the building was the voice. You know what I'm saying, young man now, Alvarez. He was doing this thing. I'm blacked out over here. So he was doing this thing as well inside the building.
What's going on?
Long time no see. Oh no. All right. All right.
Want me start off first? Life is good. I can't complain. Family's good. Kids are good. Just work on a few different projects as always. Still writing, of course. Not doing as much on my former site that a lot of people, at least on this particular subject, knew me from. But I'm starting to write more on the NBA, and I got my other project that I've been working on for the past 4 years with college football. Touchdown Alabama magazine. Check that out. Black-owned, fully credentialed publication. We've been covering Alabama football for 12 years. So definitely check that out. tdalabamamad.com, touchdownalabama.com, either one. But life is good. Can't really complain, man.
Pretty good. Pretty good. If anyone follows me on Twitter, I've been covering high school sports for the LA Times in the Orange County Register. Boys basketball, tennis, baseball, a couple other sports as well. I'm doing now that the high school year is over, we're doing youth sports with Little League baseball, soccer. We got softball coming up. Just waiting for football season to come up, which is at the beginning of August. But for those that didn't know, I ended up staying with Big Baller Brand and working with the water. People saw that and did that until, of course, the abrupt end of that in March. But a fantastic journey. I think that we all got met up just a year ago. It seemed like it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, we set a goal out and we accomplished it. No one really knew what to expect from it. I don't think any of us really did. We were part of that first group back in last May, actually, where we were all at the Big Ball Estate. And there was a few of us there, and some of those didn't make it all the way through. So just going through that whole pre-production phase, and like yesterday, like just dawned on, I was like, man, it was idiot last year. It was a lot of work just to get to that point. So it was just pretty cool to see it all unfold. And it's like that was like the precipice of like man, like this is real. Like you see LeVar, Zoe on the mic, Melo's there, flesh with speaking well, and then everybody signing their contracts or whatever their jerseys. Like okay, it's really about to go down. And practice was later on that day, and we were all there at the complex, and we just all kind of hit the ground running from that moment.
Hello? There it is. Y'all can hear me now, right? Just can't hear AB, but Brandon Manny I can hear. All right, I'm back now. I should be good.
There we go. Give some time, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Cool. My fault. I forgot. I didn't turn my mic on. I had the camera there, but not the mic. Hello. No video.
Y'all
can hear me now, right?
Oh, you got me now. Score. I didn't see you guys. I got joined in on the outside from Wayne JBA, who I've known for about 10 years. So it was going to that media day at Citizens Arena in Ontario. I didn't know who AB was. The only person I really was told to contact was Brandon that first day, and then felt like the new kid at work. Just had no idea who's who. So I think the next day I'm seeing AB, and then finally got to join the fam the rest of the way there. Started my journey with you guys. That's a trip.
It was like that with a lot of people at that media day. Like there was camera folks from all over the place. So many people who had a camera in there. I didn't know what Kurt was in there. David was in there. I never met them before. Alex had his homeboy who was there who had a camera too. So I didn't know who was gonna be like who was around and who was just there for that day. You know what I mean? It was kind of the whole thing was hella hectic.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh.
No, go ahead, Brent.
No, I was saying that's a good point. Manny was saying, I got word of Manny through Wayne. Because those who don't really know, a lot of types of stuff kind of put me in charge of that. I wanted to have some writers because when they asked me to do commentary, like not to be my to do writing. So Wayne was like, hey, for someone that like writing and whatnot. He was like, because Manny, he's doing our EA announcement. He's also a writer. He's LA Times, ESPN, Orange County, and all these different credentials. I'm like, cool. I'm like, yeah, definitely. So that's how me and Manny connected, and we connected prior to Media Day. I hadn't seen him until that day. Talking like you were saying, AB, like with Rob, who was Curtis's guy. Like all that was like everybody was coming at me, and like I hit Smith. I'm like, I've placed such that to where I still was trying to figure out what Big Baller ran one NBA and all that, and what they did or did not win. So I was just like, yeah. So it was definitely great, tiresome for sure. It's funny, we still got that video on your channel. That live stream late that night after all that stuff was over. I think clocking had live stream. All the stuff be a demo. So but yeah, it was definitely many for sure.
Yeah. I feel like that was one of the cool things, man. We managed to do is hit those live streams throughout the tour as much as we could, and which I feel like it was dope because it helped us kind of set up the flow for the actual games and kind of like the way we were vibing off of each other, you know what I mean, just from doing those live streams. And you know what too? I think from what both of y'all saying, just about like walking in there and just meeting everybody on the like at the events or maybe having just a little contact with each other is somebody got somebody kitchen, somebody washing dishes.
Oh, I'm outside of shopping centers. You're gonna hear a lot of shopping.
That's what that was.
I can't go inside the coffee place to blender 5 minutes.
Yeah, no. But so it was kind of crazy because everything happened so fast. So like even like all of the people who were there, like probably a lot of them just came in like the day before. So you say like Manny, like him becoming a writer was something that happened like damn near once camp had started. You know what I mean? Like these different folks we came out a month before the whole league had started, and then you got put in charge of like writing and all of that. You know what I mean? Like things that you would think they'd have that taken care of like months in advance. You would start working the team. Even the media day, we had literally like days before I was on the phone with Brianna trying to set up the different stations for the videos and the green screens and the people who came in and did it. Josh Ordonez, his dad now, they came in like a day before, like 2 days prior, and they, you know what I'm saying, was willing to help out and did it for the free 99, man. So that was dope, man.
You gotta bring up Josh. I ran into Josh in my own apartment complex. The heck are you doing here, man? Kind of lit, but yeah, no. I wish I would have known about it earlier because I wanted to write previews on each team. Because I should have first time have like a week and a half to write on all 8 teams. We couldn't do it because obviously first cut of the game and my story's got taking care of the situation with Taco and obviously he made the best of the second chance. But I wish we would have more time. Maybe a live stream and talk about each team. I don't know if AB had enough time to do that, but we worked it out for all of us. We did the best we can. And I think Dave, Brandon, we were in a little team store, the Memento Center, Irvine, just riding bios, just kind of take whatever everyone told us to break it out to our page player.
Hey, don't talk about writing bios, man. That's too much controversy.
Yeah. We'll skip from that. We'll move on.
That's now, AB. But since you mentioned it now, Manny, there's a huge issue about bios and whatnot. So since Manny has mentioned that, I was the one that was in charge of putting the bios together.
But Brand, I'll take blame too. We basically told them, hey, give us what you want us to throw in there, and we'll type it. And so again, we only had a week before the first game, so it was really tough to try to fact check. Six players, including the guys coming in after the first cuts.
Well, I mean, a lot of those bios were already in a document, and like you mentioned, there were questions that I asked them all, and they sent them all back to me, and I basically just fine-tuned it to make it look professional as much as possible, and there really wasn't much of an issue with it. Obviously, there's always going to be a discrepancy here or there, but yes, to answer that elephant in the room question that some people asked, I was in charge of that. Manny was a huge help, as you mentioned that day, because I was getting a phone call like, Brandon, need the bios, and I'm like, okay, it's me in a laptop, and you're asking me to publish and finalize 60 plus bios. And gracefully, Manny was gracious enough. I'm trying to say gracious enough to assist me with that, because I was definitely stressed out on that. Was it the second day, man? I think
I think you went back home for Father's Day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you were down that day. But yeah.
It was definitely hectic. because I had a particular person down my neck. I'll let you mention that particular name or not. This is our strength. But yeah, he
It might relate with my unemployment off time basis. Yeah.
Yeah, he breathed my neck pretty hard, so it's completed. So me and Manny went in a small room, typing bios for about a good 4 or 5 hours straight. Up until that night, it was a lot, but it got completed, and that's just a little story that some of y'all may not know about, but it makes the big picture and the bigger story. It's just one of those things that we all kind of know about. We laugh about amongst each other. It's pretty cool.
It was pretty hectic with them bios, and then the thing that I was dealing with during that time is I went back, actually it was a wedding, so it was my girl's sister's wedding. That, like, weddings, they had like 2 or 3 days worth of events that I was going back to be a part of, but then they wanted me to edit all of the video that we took from media day during that same time while I was back home. And so I was going through my own little bit of struggle trying to figure that out, and then like putting some effects on it and then sending it over. And then, like you said, even with the bios, you write a bio for these different players, and then like in a couple of days, it didn't matter anyway because there was some new folks in there. So I was having the same like kind of rush experience. It wasn't the same person who was on y'all wasn't on me about it. You know what I'm saying? I had my own.
Kinda.
Yeah.
What was funny is that one guy that Brandon was talking about. He apparently the bar was our announcer, and Wayne didn't communicate like, hey, I have our announcer. And if you want to hide, but Alan basically looked at me and said, "You're an announcer." Like, give me your voice. My voice fell. Like, all right, we got our announcer. Like, I was like, man, put your voice out there, and I voice. And there was some moment where I almost went like third day because they had their own guys miscommunication with Wayne. So I was very close to hey, we're the guy, go home.
Oh, damn.
I didn't know that.
And the funny thing is that you definitely would have went home.
Yeah.
No problem. I feel like that's something that I like picked up out there of like when people start talking about professional, mainly screen is just bouncing all over the place. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with that. But when people talk about like professional sports and it's a business and like how you could go home at any moment and like and you see these guys in like the NBA and the NFL, you find out that you're going home or via like the news wire on ESPN. I feel like that's something that the realities of that were strong throughout that that first couple of days. It really like hit home like, yo, this is a real league.
And I don't think the players do that either. They still worry now, like, when you make the varsity team, you're on that team for the rest of the season, unless you break rules. So I think some of those stuff kind of focus like they're still in that high school atmosphere of college. You made team, you're not getting cut out of nowhere, and then some got that, and then they got the cut at the end of that first week.
Well, I don't think any of us really were expecting what happened. I still remember talking to AB. I was like, "Did you talking to AB? I was like, "Did you know so and so got sent home or whatever?" And I remember one of the players was texting me, like, "Hey, I need so and so number. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Just tell there was panic. Just in the way that he was texting, even just through a text. I think he ended up calling me too. I really can't remember. And then all of a sudden, it's like these guys that you start even after a few days because we were around them so much. You see him in the lobby. With suitcases, and kind of got to give him a little pep talk. Ever really see him again. So we weren't really expecting that. I think we all came thinking, okay, 64 players. You know, they're gonna be here from start to finish. However may shake out. And then all of a sudden it was new player here, new player there. Just kept going on like that. But I mean, you're right. It was a professional league, and those are the types of things that happen. I wish it would have been communicated from the beginning to everyone, players as well as us. That's how those types of things could happen. Because we're just all kind of blindsided. But those are things that happen. And it still made the league what it was.
I had a similar story too. I didn't realize they were sending people home, and then so I come through the hotel. I'm all excited and chipper and about life and all of that. And there's this kid sitting there, and he got the like saddest look on his face. And I'm like, man, why you so sad? What's up, man? And he got his hood on, and I'm like joking and all of this, and he just don't want to talk, and I had no reason why. I'm like, bro, you about to play basketball, you a professional hooper right now.
Oh no!
Like
no!
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Why you sad? And he just don't even want to acknowledge me. And then like an hour later, I see him rolling his suitcase out the door, and I'm like, yo, where you going? Like, you switching hotels? And he's like, I'm going home. And I'm like, home? What happened? Like, you got an issue? And I thought he must have had an emergency or something at home. I did not realize he was getting cut, man. I felt so shitty after that. But like you said, I also know that nobody knew that was going to happen. Not even some of the coaches expected that. But once they found out it was going to happen, a lot of them did take full advantage of their ability to upgrade players whenever they needed to. So it's a gift and a curse.
Dallas.
And
I felt like Dallas did the most of that, and it worked. It worked for Dallas. Weren't they like 0-3 at one point? And he thought, everyone's going to beat up on.
They're in the water.
Yeah, and Coach Johnson changed it up. They had the potential to go to the finals, but they got a little cocky. But
super cocky.
I was told to write a story for every team. And two of my stories basically in the past. One team I was talking to was the Houston team. And then the next day, Portugal, and then of course, just stayed upset. Like, where goes that other story? My other story, I was not going to talk. And obviously, really bad situation. And that's what kind of what happened. What happened? Luckily, came back. But yeah, it was you're talking to these kids, and they're super excited. They give me these positive about things. One gets cut, one's pretty dominant, one's best of it later. But yeah, best of it later.
What I was saying is I was going through earlier and like looking at video clips, and one of the guys you mentioned, Van Putten, like he was the dude who was so excited. I was like,
he kissed his contract, right?
Yeah, exactly. I got that on the clip where he like, I kissed it. And then like after it was over, he was like, this is what I dreamed of. Like at the media day, he just was. Then after the first practice, we did an interview with him, and he just was like, yo, I just see what it take to be a pro. And then he ended up being one of the first to go home. So that was sad, man. Plus I met him in New York at his tryout, and he had that same level of excitement just to make it. But that's what I see. So I feel like we started with the sad stuff first, man. What was y'all favorite moments?
Favorite moment or moments?
Moments. Yeah.
Man.
Of that week. Does that look at a lot of stress, a lot of work, because we have to put all these things together. And I think once the stress went away, that's when we started enjoying it. That's when we started trips. I talk to people. And Roscoe's has the best chicken and waffles. Like, best chicken and waffles. Like, no, breakfast club. I've been there several times. We're at Houston. I told you guys we got to go over there. We got to go over there. And I'm sure you guys have some awesome thoughts of that. But I think it's like we have a lot. It's like, I come from the high school scene. I covered the Bombers when they played at Chino Hills, and not getting that much access, and all of a sudden access to them, and then all access by high school, and like now I'm one of those main riders with Brandon, guys to go from you only get access to about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, echo what Manny was saying about that first 2 weeks. Probably up until like the second or third game. I don't think that everybody was like, we don't really know what to do, or what to expect rather. So we didn't really ease up or really lighten up a whole lot until after we kind of figure out what was going on. We had more of a rhythm how to do certain stuff. But I guess my favorite moments, and I try to. One of my favorite moments is I think we were in. Where's that barbecue place that was going to Dallas?
Yeah. That's my guy's barbecue, Winter's Barbecue, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. We were on the way. And it was me, AB, Dre, and B. Jones in the car. We had this Uber driver that was kind of. We had this Uber driver that was a little bit. She was interested. I'd say that. AB took advantage of the fact that she was entertaining pretty much anything that he was saying. I can't go into detail, but I ended up recording a lot of that conversation. And it was probably one of the funniest things I've ever been part of. And we were just in the back, just trying our best not to laugh. He was just saying the most ridiculous things, and she was like, yeah, okay, really. And it was so funny. You had to be there, but that was one of my favorite moments, especially in the beginning of the season. And there's definitely more, but that comes to mind because it was one of those that no one else can really see. It's laid it right to the entire tour or whatever you call it. But it was something else, more behind the scenes type thing that we have so many of those. But that was definitely one of them. Y'all could just tell that AB's a bit of a comedian at times. That was him at probably his best. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny because I was trying to come up with random ridiculous stories, and she kept being like, "Oh yeah, I did something like that before," and she just would chime in and try to top whatever I had going, and I was just throwing out the most ridiculous random. I forgot all about that, man. Till you said that. That was funny, man. That was a good time. That was funny, man. I was just thinking our trip. We didn't have much time to hang out and do anything until we got to Dallas. I think we went to Houston, got there, and we had time to have dinner. I had to get in Houston, and we quickly see out for the game very next day. And then we flew to Dallas on like free time finally.
Yeah. I tell people this all the time. Like, the first game was in LA. We slept. Flew to Houston, like you said. We did that game, and literally, like we had to get on the plane like early that next morning, fly all the way to Seattle. And what people don't know is we couldn't even go to the hotel. We went straight to the arena. The game had to start in like 3 hours. So we had to make sure we're all set up. We had to change in like this tent. And couldn't shower in it. Like kind of washing your arms or whatever you do, like in this little bathroom or whatever.
I think I have my cologne for everyone to share that.
And then on top of that, with me being in charge of media or whatever, like I was my job was to try to get like radio, TV people to come to the games, and it was so hard to do that. Trying to prepare for everything else that we all had to do. But Alan was like, hey, I need you to call this. I'm trying to get ready. I got to prepare with AB, and it was just that's the part of the hectic stuff that I don't really know about. I mean, it's fun to talk about now, but it was definitely stressful. In the beginning.
That first like 3-4 nights was ridiculous. Because if I remember correctly, we didn't even go to sleep after the first game. Like we went back to the hotel and pretty much had to pack up bags and then go back to what was the game at? It was in
the first game.
Yeah.
Citizens.
Yeah. What was the city that's in? Oh, Ontario. Yeah. So we flew out of Ontario, right, to go to Houston. So
I think we went to Wayne in Orange.
No, I think you were traveling different than us at that part. We flew out of Ontario, so we drove from all the way from Ontario. I'm trying to think. I had my own room at that point. How did that happen?
No, we're John Wayne.
I'm thinking of the second time around when we went back. That's what happened.
Okay. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, that's right. All right. That makes sense now. Okay.
It's a trip because we didn't have much time to like explore the cities we went into. I think we had like 4 days on that, and I think that was 4 days. So Randy went back on 80 euros a minute, and then we ended up checking out the I think New York City was one of those like in Seattle had the game when we flew the next day. In New York was the same thing, but I think we went to Times Square and said, forget it, we'll sleep on the plane. And but like, it's not like Europe, you go to Europe and like we got 4 or 5 days to go check out the city, or in AB's case, go to Germany and meet your family. But it was some of those cities were just like sleep the game, sleep to go to the airport.
Yeah, it was intense. I feel like some of those cities though we got a decent amount. Like Seattle, we didn't. Seattle was hop off the plane and then get back on the plane. But I think we had a great time in Atlanta, man. I got some footage of us at the NCAA Hall of Fame there. We kind of went around the city. Brandon, he liked to go to sleep early and do all that stuff. So even the days we had a lot of time to kick it.
I was with my family. My family was in Atlanta at the time while you talking.
What's crazy is I forgot we're in Atlanta driving those like motorized scooters that you pay with your card.
Yeah.
And I went to Atlanta. I think Abe was with me riding those scooters. And I think we rode into like wrong side of the city. And Abe's like, "You're trying to get killed."
Yeah, we did.
And we stopped to drive. Well, the good part is we stopped in front of a place that I'll never forget. We were at the graveside of Love. I mean, that's what's great about this trip. There's some places where I'm never going to forget this moment. And to see his was special.
Yeah, there was a lot of those moments, man, throughout that first time. In New York City, like you talked about that first night, we were there, and it was.
And by the way, I think one of the interns got sent home, and he was leaving the next day. And he's like, "Dude, I want to go to Times Square." I'm like, "All right, dude, make it happen." So we all went to Times Square, and we were there till like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and that was the day where we was with Josh, and he had some like food truck that he had to go eat at. So we like literally walked 5 miles all through Times Square.
And we never found it.
And we didn't find it. And we were walking past all of these dope spots to eat. And he was like, "Hold on, wait. Get a euro or something." And, so it was But I still had a good time, man. That's the only time I ever been to Times Square, so I got the photo ops and all of that stuff. So
30 Rock, and yeah.
it's good times, though, man. In Vegas, did you hang out in Vegas with us, Brandon? You just in the hotel the whole time.
I had people there.
Yeah, oh, that's right. You had your folks, yeah.
Actually, we got AB lost some money watching you won some there.
Yeah,
and I was short on cash. I was watching him play the whole time.
I got like a little process that I use for that roulette table, so I was coming up a little bit. But no, the funny thing for me was what was that time we was in Houston and I had the video of Brandon and he was like on the phone.
Were you? I think I had the dancing for like 5 minutes straight. We're about to go to barbecue.
You talking about I was on the phone
with the airline folks.
I was going through a situation. The second time in Houston was a rough situation for me. Caught me. I was talking to the airline people about something, and I guess I was also eating one of them cookies. He tried to get LeVar to cook.
Yeah.
God, what's his name? I don't know what you're talking about. We got like a bunch of good like snacks at the at Texas Southern.
Slim College.
Yeah, Slim College.
Yeah. He gave LeVar a box of T-shirts and cookies. And that was a funny thing because then LeVar was like, "Oh yeah," and he was like, "Man, I got my own clothing company. What I'm gonna do with all these T-shirts?" And then he just passed them out to everybody. But everybody was excited to have him. Let me see.
Of course.
Yeah, man, that was good times, though, man. Good times.
I was trying to think. New York. The audio guy was trying to set the audio like this, and the guy basically looked at B. Jones like, "You don't know what you're talking about." And I kind of looked at B. Jones like, "Is he really telling you don't know what you're talking about, dude?" Like, I mean, B. Jones like on the walkie-talkie talking like, "This guy's just like, this guy." B. Jones like obviously knows audio, and this guy is just the guy that runs the gym, the hospital. And he's just basically talking down to B. Jones the whole time. I'm like, B. Jones is going to punch someone right now. Looking back at my, I was kind of looking back at my MB, like just talking the whole time, like just talking the whole time, like knows what he's talking about. This guy just knows what he's talking about.
I remember that.
B. Jones, man. That's my boy, man. I miss B. Jones. I feel like B. Jones was also one of those guys who nobody knew him before that, you know what I mean? And then as we kind of travel and you got to talk to him, you know what I mean? Like, we got to like know him a little bit, you know what I mean? I think that's the funny thing when I look at some of these clips that I have. And even when I think about like the first time I like met Manny, I remember y'all was in there writing and Manny used to go sit down at the on like that little table with his laptop, you know what I mean? And then we were talking. I feel like it's so interesting when like I think about like the time where I had no idea who you like were, you know what I'm saying? Versus to like now, like I do know you, and I feel like it's just two different people, you know? Like the guy who used to be sitting over there, I had no idea what he was doing, just writing away, versus like, you know what I'm saying? The Manny, you know.
It really didn't all like hang out. Like probably all together until we got to Houston. Because remember we went out to like Brianna's friend had a restaurant. She was a waitress or something.
Yeah.
And
that whole car ride over there was kind of crazy.
Yeah. With the
you were in there with the she was tripping.
That's what her name is. She was also one of them who made it through like 2.5 cities.
Yeah. And then, like really more than that.
Yeah.
She kind of.
You're talking about she was supposed to be like my MC in the stands, and then she was gone for like 2 weeks.
Oh no! You're talking about somebody
else. I had the part where Oh God, I'm talking about. What's
Like during that timeout,
the end of the quarter, we always gave away like merch, and we had these games. I'm like talking like two games the entire time. I'm gonna lose my voice. So he brought in this young lady. I forgot her name. I'm just talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. I forgot all about her. Yeah.
Michaela?
Michaela, that's her name. Yeah.
Michaela, yeah.
Y'all don't remember nobody.
I know, I keep forgetting. But no, I remember it. Stacy. By the time we got to Seattle.
Oh my God! Stacy. God, her demands.
We don't have to go through all that.
But I would say that was tough, man. It was a lot of travel back to back to back. Like you had to be hella ready to do whatever to really be able to stick up to like a lot of the responsibilities and things that was being asked of to be able to do that. Even like Manny talked about, I don't think people realize how hard it is to commentate 2 games back to back. Plus,
I dug to my back. I still have spray throat. It's dry to the bone. Oh, that was. Wayne told me you got to go to like farmers market, one of those hipster type of markets. Singer spray. Try to my clear your throat like that.
That's a good point, because with the travel involved, just the day-to-day type stuff that you normally get worn out from, but then you have a game at 5 o'clock. That last 2 hours, you're constantly talking. We don't have commercial breaks to really rest every now and then. So halftime, sometimes it's like, man, we need to get to halftime. Yeah. And then right after that, you got the next hour for the second half. And then you rest for 30 minutes, maybe. I can't remember the time between each game. Then you got another one. So that's like 4 hours straight talking. And thankfully, by the third game, somebody got a bright idea. Let's get our announcers or commentators rather some honey or some tea or something. So they like
that was my idea.
Thank you. Y'all just not think of it. But like it was very exhausting. Just having that every now and then.
And I feel like too, people could tell, like in the comments, they'd be like, "Hey, you sound tired today," you know what I'm saying? Or it's a struggle because.
Especially in Seattle. That was the back to back. Yeah. I mean, we went through 4 games in the last 24 hours. I mean,
and I didn't even realize how crazy it was till I was thinking like, my girl was telling me she was trying to like watch all of the games until but she couldn't put away 4 hours every night to just sit down and watch like JBA basketball. You know what I mean? Like that's just a lot to ask somebody to do. You know what I mean? Starting at 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, you just sitting in front of a television. Like it's extra.
But we had a lot of fans that was doing that. There'd be some that first game that would stay tuned to that second game. That was pretty cool. And that was something that I can't speak for AB, but I'm pretty sure he agrees that we really appreciate it because and people used to comment about this all the time. This is our first time doing something this magnitude. I've never done any type of broadcasting in any shape or form. So we didn't really have a chance to practice professionally. They didn't bring us in and say, "Hey, here's a test live stream." He and I had to kind of do it, on our own. But you can't really simulate an entire game. So those first few games, like it was the first probably 2. You could tell there was like some inconsistencies. We were talking over each other. And then somebody had the bright idea to have me be a sideline commentator or whatever after like the third game. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, I don't know what to do. We haven't practiced. So I go back sometimes when I watch those games and watch myself on the sideline. I'm like cringing in those first like 5. I'm like, this is really embarrassing. But thankfully even I kind of at the second half of the season, I finally like got a little bit more comfortable doing that. But I mean, it was rough. I mean, it was rough just trying to do all that and with such limited time and practice. But I thought we definitely helped revolutionize something. Just having all those fans. Going back to my original point. Helping us with that, kind of boosting us up. Joining in, commentating, conversing with us rather. Just made it that much more enjoyable. So those of y'all who are watching that, who were 5 p.m. game, 7:30 game. You stuck around for both, but just one. It really was big for us to see that.
I forgot about the Ontario game. That was the night of the NBA draft.
Yep.
And so Jello wasn't in the JBA yet. And I remember we showed up to the might have been the nicest little media room for us was on but we're thinking, man, where's he gonna get drafted? Someone said top 20. I'm like, he's gonna get second round. Someone's gonna take a chance. He's gonna make the best of it. And shockingly, he did get drafted in the second rounder. That make the best of Manu Ginobili. But just remember seeing him really bad. He made it the best of it with JBA and going overseas and still has the future open for him.
Yeah, I think that's something people overlook when they tell his story is that he was not a part of the JBA at the beginning. He just was like an addition when they needed to bring in the reinforcements to secure that W for the LA. I was looking at the video from Media Day, which is funny because there's this portion where they're introducing the LA team, and your boy Allen is like, "We need the LA team to win because we don't want to ship them cars across the country." And he's like, and there's like 2 or 3 minutes where he talk about the LA team winning, so they don't have to ship them. And he's like, "We had to ship them to Dallas. You know how much they gonna charge us?" Or New York, oh my God! If we had to send them cars in New York, it's gonna be crazy. And you can hear people in the media inside the room being like, "No, Dallas." It was that was
New York is a free throw away. I think they missed a crucial free throw late, and I think that would have won it.
Yeah.
If I recall,
I remember.
And then I think it was Maurice Kamara was at that line.
Like it was Calvin Brown.
Was it? I thought it was Kamara.
It was Kamara.
Yeah.
Because he got fouled, and then he made the first one, missed the second one. That would have tied the game.
Man, that was a good game though.
That was
a playoff.
That's probably my favorite game. I mean, there's a lot of really good games. I think because of the magnitude of that one with the championship on the line, and then everyone pretty much thinking that New York would give them a good run, good fight, but LA would ultimately win that game. And then you started seeing the pendulum shift, like after Jameer killing Yammed on Big Mel. Like it was like, gosh, like. In New York's really about to do this, and there was a moment they were up actually at halftime, but even still, when they blew the lead and then ultimately came back, and then they tied it, and that whole just that crazy last few minutes, it was wild. And plus, it was a smaller venue that time, so the fans were a little bit more on top of us, behind us, and they were all going for LA. So it was pretty intense, very tense moment in there. So I really enjoyed that one. That was big.
Yeah, that was. I feel like they set up the league and even some of the scheduling to create that cross country rivalry between LA and New York. And after LA played New York on the first night, and it was ugly, and then they played New York in New York. In New York, it got ugly the other way. And so ended up being like what people wanted to see with that rivalry, LA and New York. Because then, in the playoff, it came down to a point where you didn't know who was going to win that game. And so that was probably one of the and somehow it worked out like that, where the Dallas and Houston rivalry was supposed to be something where they wanted to see them two teams clash it and be something big. and that ended up being like huge, going all the way into the playoffs as well. So they I know people were upset about the seeding going into the playoffs at times, but it ended up playing it out pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a
For the most part.
yeah.
I keep saying Chicago. I remember just feeling how bad. Like Chicago just had a really bad second half of that season. Coaching change and then players getting hurt. And I mean, that was a tough run for them. I mean, that was our star guy. Deion Lau got hurt for the first game. So I mean, even then, I think they put up a pretty good game against Seattle. So
yeah, no, that Deion Lau thing was one of the funniest situations that I ever seen in my whole entire life. As he got hit by a car a couple days before the game. In this video, he took it down right away. I wish I would have saved that just so I could have had it in my like personal collection. But that was the funniest thing I ever seen. Like, you hit me with your car. That was funny. But speaking of Chicago, I actually hung out with Antonio Singleton from the Chicago Ballers just a couple days ago. He came by, and we talked, and he had an unfortunate exit from the league. So then he kind of just talked about that, and just kind of what he got going next, and what he hoping to be able to do with this basketball thing. But that was
and I've seen photos of JBA players hanging out. And not long ago I saw Jello running into Chris in Texas, and I think I've seen a couple other photos where they talk around into they talk about surgery for his knee, and they were with him, and so it wasn't just trying to move on up in the basketball world. There was some family, some brotherhood there, and I mean, despite the league not coming back, the bond's still there. Special.
That's a fact. I feel like I see a lot of them show each other a lot of love with whatever they got going on right now, and helping promote each other and what they doing. That's dope, man.
Especially right now in the Drew League. I think what Curtis and Malik right now.
It's 4 guys in the Drew League right now.
That's right. I forgot.
Keyshawn
Mack.
Marquise Reed is playing in the Drew League as well.
Okay.
They are. So that's all I'm saying. I feel like this should let you know it's some hoopers. And this is the thing that I feel like is also should be encouraging for a lot of these guys to just keep chasing the opportunity. Is like some of the guys who playing pro ball right now. Isaiah Pope is playing the pro ball in Mexico. He was saying
Mexico. Yeah.
That's what I'm sorry, Josiah Pope. But he like didn't play much at all during the season, and like really got the playoff game is where, and they just needed an extra person. He even like was home one time and then came back, and he got.
I don't think he even got to his. He never got to his front door.
No,
I think he was walking to his front door, and his mom. I think he told him, "Hey, you got to turn around."
Exactly. He told me he walked in the front door, was about to put his stuff down. His mom was like, "No, go back out, hop back on the plane, and go back."
And by the way, can you imagine doing that? You get home from the plane, you're exhausted, like, yo, turn around and get back on the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about jet lag.
Yeah, facts.
But there's one thing I wish was different in JBA was maybe a smaller venues, cheaper tickets, because we did have some fans, but I feel like the prices, and I think we all talked about it after the first half of the trips, we lowered these prices, because we do have more fans. There was always a hesitation, there was always a fans saying, no, we do. It's like, no, we do. It's just high, man. Yes, NBA prices. I wish the prices were cheap. I wish we find smaller venues, because I remember Seattle was just tough. I mean, Seattle isn't that big of a market. Well, I mean, it is, but I mean, it just seems like the smallest one of all the games. But I wish the pricing was different. We probably got more people in attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that could have been done differently, maybe better. I guess we'll never really know in that regard. And I'm still hopeful. I've been talking to some people past couple months about what could be done for next year. So that all kind of still remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, who knows if we would have did things a little differently. Maybe if we had a little bit more time to plan. I think a lot of people don't understand. We kind of put this thing together in about a month and a half. Honestly, AB and I, joined early May, and the rest of the team, that first set team, was around the same time, and we were working. Seemed like we were working like 5 different jobs because it was a nonstop thing. But some things were kind of already put in place, like the ticket prices were already put in place, the venues were already determined. So all that was already an expectation. But I wish that our input was considered a little bit more when it came to some of those things that Manny, you just mentioned, because it was a lot of work that we put into it. But when I go back to what I said to start the video off, it was something that people didn't think would happen, and just to know that we had our footprints, our handprints, everything wrapped up into it to get this league started and created. It's something that I don't take lightly at all. It's probably, or not probably, but it is one of the reasons why I'm still so passionate about it, and why I always try to make sure that I keep the name, and a lot of people's memories and things like that, because it was special. It was history. That was the word that AB used to start off a lot of the live streams, especially in the beginning. That we were creating history, and that's exactly what. I mean, no matter what, if it's just 1 year, or if the JBA comes back next year or a few years down the road, this first year is the one that is always going to be remembered, and that however good, bad, or indifferent, or however you feel about it, we did it. The story is forever going to be told.
Yeah, that's a fact. I feel like the speed that we put it together, and then like the outcome that we came with, it was like, I'm proud of that we were able to like finish the whole season and the product that we put out. But it also showed me that like it takes a lot of like work to really get a super polished product. Like you can, it's kind of amazing the fact that you could take 1 month and put on a league of that that magnitude. You can do it, but if you really wanted to be successful and come back, it takes some time. And I feel like there's so many people a few people who hit me up post like once everybody kind of figured out that it won't be coming back at least next year, of like trying to start something up, and nobody just had the like understanding of like how much work goes in, and if you really want it to be like cost effective, how much time you need to put in, and all of that good stuff. But it's it was fun though, man.
It was. I wouldn't change it, as much as it was hectic at times and exhausting, and I miss my family like crazy, but I'm definitely happy that I was a part of it. And that's why, I was telling my wife this the other day. It's like, man, it's coming up on a year. It's like what am I gonna do this summer? Like I miss as crazy as it sounds, like I said, it was taxing at times, but like I missed so much about what we did. I miss the players. I really do. That's probably one of the biggest things. I miss just seeing those guys interact with each other, watching them practice, watching them play. Feeling like you can mentor a few of them, and just have like a big brother bond with them. Like that was one of the biggest experiences that I had, because me being an educator, a teacher, and whatnot, that's always been fulfilling for me. So just being around them was was great, and I just miss those guys. I miss working with the people I worked with. So maybe it comes back soon.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. For me, one of the things that allowed me, because I don't think it was a great experience. Obviously, it didn't end the way that everybody would have wanted it to. But like, there's so many things that I hold on to as like positive, just personal. One of the things that's always been on my bucket list is just to go on tour. Like I just want to, if I don't even want to like be the reason why we on tour. I just want to be like, you know what I'm saying, like one of the dudes who hold the bags, or you know what I mean, just to go tour city to city and just experience that like road life for a little bit. And I feel like this has definitely like quenched like that, or check that off my bucket list. You know what I mean? Like we not only did we go on tour like the United States for like 2 months, then like we got to go tour like Europe. So it's just like,
Yeah.
so for me, I miss it, but like I'm also so like thankful that I got to do that then, where like I'm straight. Like I don't need to go nowhere no time soon. Like you know what I mean? I accomplished a lot. It also like did give me a bit of a bug to want to travel too. And like I would hate for like the only place that I've ever been to be like those couple of places we went with the JBA. You know what I'm saying? It made me want to like continue to get out there and go see the world in this country. But it's a good time, man. I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it sounds a little. It may sound selfish to me. I really wanted to do it again just to check out those cities,
Yeah.
on someone else's dime. Yeah, no, it's I always dreamed about traveling around the country. Never have I thought about dreaming around the world because I thought it's never going to happen. Why bother even dreaming it?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to travel all over Europe, and it's insane. I never thought I'd be going to the Red Square where Putin lives in Russia, or check out England, or go down to Bulgaria,
Yeah.
or Romania, or me and AB upsetting some lady in Greece because we're saying we're going to Macedonia. We didn't know that Macedonia and Greece had a little hated rivalry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, AB.
I do remember that.
Um,
Yeah. That's
and I was told after, yeah, dude, Greece and Macedonia don't like each other. I'm like, oh, I didn't know
mhm.
that. That's why she left all angry.
Yeah. That was actually dope, man, because I thought that was super interesting. That whole just to be there in the middle of like that's kind of like some global international news with the name change thing that they had going over there in Greece and Macedonia, and like having some like, and obviously like on social media there's people who like follow me now from like all over the world.
Oh, what? And I forgot we're covering the Macedonia game. Unfortunately, that was the where the winning streak ended. And I forgot we're mentioning, yeah, we're here in Macedonia, and all of a sudden you see all these Greek people just on the comment section. It's Greece, no such thing as Macedonia. I'm like, all right, but yeah, it's. I kind of, right now I was thinking, what am I going to do for the 4th of July? Because last year I was on an airplane, I was stuck in Florida for 5 hours, and we had to take a plane. By the time I got to New Jersey, it was 4 a.m, and now I got to actually figure out my plans for the 4th of July. It's weird because I was thinking, I kind of wish I was back right now. This be at the complex in Irvine, getting ready for camp and all that, and just sucks that it's not happening this year.
Yeah.
That's man, that would be dope, man. What we need to do is a year or so, say have a reunion and all get together and fly somewhere and then and pop some bottles and just kind of reminisce over the old times. Bring some of them players out as they get a little bit older, a little bit more mature, and they can hang with the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? We go do that. And that would be dope, man. But we've been on here for a cool about an hour now. So man, I'm gonna go ahead and we can wrap this thing up. I appreciate y'all hopping on here with me, man. Short notice like that.
Oh,
No, it was fun, man.
Of course, man. Yeah, it was nice catching up there with all those memories.
Yeah.
So.
Good time.
Yeah, man. So make sure y'all go ahead. If y'all still tuned in right now, I know some of y'all is, man. Make sure you hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully the playback is a bit smoother than like it was live. You know, because it looked like it was a bit choppy. But if you're still in here, man, hit the like button, hit the comment button. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Drop some comments below, all that good stuff. Make sure you go ahead and follow my dogs over there on their social medias. Check out my dude Brandon YouTube channel. He's about to make some videos. And then follow Manny over there on the Twitters and everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? You know. And then y'all stick around, man. We got more coming, man. And hopefully we can. It would be dope, man. As these anniversaries come up, man, we can get back on here, man, and kind of reminisce a bit more, man. But if y'all got any thing y'all want to say, you know what I'm saying, outros, go ahead.
No, I appreciate you having us on, having me on. Maybe we can do a game by game, and maybe we can just remember our reactions on what certain moments were going on during the game or something like. I don't know. We can figure it out. I'm sure there's a lot that we can always kind of go through. Maybe the people that are fans of the JBA might find that interesting. If we do something like that, Manny can give his perspective from inside the arena as the game is going on from a PA announcer standpoint. You and I from calling it on the live stream. But yeah, check me out on. I'm mainly on Twitter. Same at Talking with Fresh. Catch some of my content on AmicoHoops.net. Other than that, that's really all I got going. And don't forget, Alabama fan. Touchdown Alabama magazine. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
War Eagle. Yeah, I had that student section website, SoCal Student Sections. It's kind of the thing that got me into the whole sports scene. But for those local people want to check out the sports scene here in the LA Orange County area. Times Orange County. If you're around the neighborhood, follow us. Follow my Twitter and Alberto too. You'll find out where I'm headed at. Maybe we'll say hello and then again I'm covering. But yeah, this summer's gonna be very different without the planes and hotels and all the fun stuff in between with the games and exploring different foods and special monuments. But I'm gonna try to make the best of it. I'm sure this summer can't top what last summer was. The last summer was amazing. So.
All right, straight up, man. All right, it's your main man, AB the Hero, man. We finna hop out of here. Peace. Appreciate y'all once again for tuning in. We gone, man.
Deuces.
Peace.